Hey traders, haven't done this in a while, so this is a recap with fun how we got some good trades with combination of being diligent with the levels. In case you don't know, I have a live room going. I have chat rooms that everybody can hang out in all day. Not everybody, every member. But I also break out into a live room which has 300. Today I'd had 290 people, 288 people I think at the time, that are in there live. We're watching what you're watching right now, my screen here, and a couple other screens that we ping back and forth to and from. And we're trying to game the day. We had probably conservatively 4 different runs trading the S&P and the IWM and 1 QQQ and a couple of Teslas. But the most exciting surely came at the end, and I'm here to prove a point that this is a well-organized game. What is this? Everything. The news, the stock prices. I mean, today it was proof positive. I'm not going to show you everything, but I'll tell you what happened. And you can choose to believe it. I had 290 people in there that wouldn't have believed it if they weren't in the room. Anyway, so Tradytics played a role. This is a third-party software. I'll put a link to it either up in the corner of the video playing now and most definitely down in the description. Using my link will get you 10%. I'm not pushing them. They're good people so far. I had one person today cancel. They told me that they canceled their membership with them because they saw some discrepancies. I haven't seen any of those yet. They pointed out what it was, but I think it was a matter of filters. But I do appreciate the feedback, and of course it's not for everybody. But here's the thing that it provides to me. The point is, I'll show you in a little bit the window what it looks like. So I haven't even scratched the surface. So I don't know what it does, 90% of what it does. I know one thing, and that's the only thing I was missing. I don't need options information reading the tea leaves. Like I can go to the options table and actually see the data myself, but it's handy there if you want it. But what it provides to me is what are the machines doing? That's basically it. And they do their interpretation and they display it in one line. That information I did not have before. And for that, I would pay for the service. Luckily, I don't have to because they're cool people and they open it up to me. And I do videos like this where I mention them here and there. And I'm only mentioning them because they provided 2 different trade setups. And that's what I'm sharing. So today I was watching a whole bunch of stuff, including the S&P. And then when it fell here, chatter in my room, we have a lot of bearish people in my room, started talking about, the abyss. I know that the potential was there. I drew it. I drew the arrows. But I also, while looking at the options chain, not Tradytics, I saw a position in the SPX that expires today that I thought, I bet you, it was here and then this happened. I bet you that they were going to try to, there's a chance they were going to go to 37.50, which is here. That's 37.50 right there. And we were here with, I don't know, 20 minutes to go, maybe even 10 minutes to go. I can't remember. 15 minutes ago. I'm looking at the clock down there. So, and then suddenly I shared the setup to take a trade, and I'll show you the picture of it. And then suddenly, quote, a headline broke out. Perfectly at the time where market makers needed a push in order to get out of trouble. And guess what? The push came. The headline was like within minutes of open interest showing up. Anyway, the point is, we saw it coming, and it's not impossible. And how did Tradytics come into play? A minute later, or just before that, I saw divergence in Tradytics, and I'll explain what that looks like, in the IWM. So earlier today, we had taken a long in the S&P because the S&P was losing support. And I said, don't bite on the puts in the S&P. There is positive divergence in the IWM. And if it comes to fruition, I can't imagine the S&P is going to go down. So I said, you can trade the IWM divergent if you don't want to with the IWM through the S&P. And I said, I'm taking a call in the IWM. I called it an early lottery ticket call on tomorrow at the money expiring tomorrow. And I bought it just before that last push. And then I came in here and I married the 2 ideas. I was like, wait, I see this in the IWM on Tradytics. And I had no other clues on the IWM. That was pure Tradytics algo divergence, and I'll point it out in a second. And this came from my hard work looking at the open interest and the volume for today. I saw clues that suggested a upside pressure, and I noted it hours before that it was there, and then suddenly it showed up big time later. So that was important. And I drew this box hours earlier, and I said, this is the lottery where they want to close. If I was a market maker, I would guess that I want price in between the inside this box. This is 15-second candle. The box looks huge, but if you look at the span of the day, it's not that big, and it's right in the middle. And that was the lottery ticket I got. 80 cents. Let's say you got in late. 90 cents to open. $5 expired. So if you spent one contract, that's $90 expense out of your pocket. You ended up with $500. Debit call spread in the money. Earlier, just after the open, I suggested taking this trade as a lottery for today. If somebody, whoever did this, they would have gotten 22% on their yield in what, 7 hours. And I also suggested the opposite trade up there that also provides another 20%. So if somebody did these two, they made a cool 40%. And so all this is to say, screw the headline. It's a very well organized machine. The news, the market makers, it's all tied, folks. You can choose to believe it or not, don't care. This is the pre-setup. Look, that is right there. My box is right here. My bigger box, my target is right there. And the red line was right there, I promise. And then this happened. Boop, into the close. So what is a Tradytics window look like? This is what it looks like. That's the only part I play with Tradytics right now. I promise you, this is the only chart I use. That's the only chart. So what is divergence? This is where the opportunity came. Let me point at it. I don't think I'm pointing at it. All right, now we go. So this is the only chart I use. The default is whatever time frame it is, the 1 minute time frame. That's the right here, right now. Now, the folks that make Tradytics tell you it doesn't work for indices and ETFs. It does. So far, it has not fooled me. Maybe it's the environment, maybe it's not, but it does. And the divergence I saw, the first one, was something like this. That's a divergence where the solid line that goes from red to green is what they interpret the machines are trying to do, the algo line. The other line, the choppy candles, this is what price was doing. So at one point, price was falling apart. The machines are saying no. And then price remembered, oh, okay, I guess we have to follow the machines. So that's the divergence you note. And the fact that that line is above the zero line, although I don't know if that's really important or not. I mean, it makes it a better conversation than if it was, diverting from here. So this is what transpired. They had a difference of opinion, price and machines. It got wider and wider, and then finally price said, oh, wait, I better follow machines. Same here. Algos collapsed for some reason. Price said, oh, I guess we too. And then algo said, no, just kidding. And then, yeah, no, we'll collapse. No, we'll go. So this stuff allows you to trade the day. So you could have made 4 runs out of these. If you saw this first, you got short, and you saw this, you expected a rally. It took its time, but it got there. This was perfect. So this stuff is voodoo. I don't know what they do. I think I do. I think they take 4 numbers. Could be wrong. But anyway, they wash it out to a 1 net number. If it's positive, then it's going up. If it's negative, it's going down. But they make an assumption. Like this order was a sell, this order was a buy. When in reality, they're both a sell and a buy. But the way it came in, they make an assumption. If they're consistent with their assumptions, they give us a consistent line, which you can use. So far, it works fine. The platform has a billion things. Other things that it does, I'm just telling you how I used this one today to make money for opportunity to make money for 280 people in the room. And since I promise you this is not an advertisement for Tradytics, I'm not going to show you anything else about it because that's the only point of the video where it's relevant. The rest is just whatever else it does. So ignore the headlines. I promise you the headlines are not going to make you money. They're going to make you emotional because the headline writers bank on your emotions to get engaged. That's how they get you to watch and click and whatever. You won't believe what he's going to say next. That's the idea when they break the commercial. Don't leave us because we're going to have so-and-so and you won't believe what she's going to say next after this. And you come up and it's like, what? There's nothing that exciting. Same as the motorcycle jumper. They build it up to abortion. You abort this run, abort this run. Nope, we'll go with this one. So it's pretty crazy. Just use the data. Use the data. So This was the downfall target from losing this. We charted it. It almost came to fruition. We were ready for the next one. It didn't play out. So take it one line at a time. This was a clear head and shoulders. I said, this is the potential. These are 15-second candles. It's pretty emotional. But if you look at it, it's not that drastic. The action was very consistent. The bears were in charge. And the fact that we ended the day red and the VIX red tells me that it's freaking done. That the guys, I mean, somebody knew what, whoever said what. I think Brainerd said something about half a point. What happened to the gag order? I thought they're not supposed to say anything ahead of the event. And she comes out. Anyway, I don't know the headlines. Let me see. U.S. Fed, unlikely. Here's the headline. I'm reading it here somewhere else. Stiefel says. Okay, so not Brainerd. Okay, somebody said something about the 50. So somebody in Stiefel leaked it that we're going to say this at whatever time. Guaranteed. And somebody took a position ahead of time. I saw this position in the options. We got lucky. And something happened. Boom, out of the blue rally, right? It wasn't out of the blue. It was well orchestrated. And why is the VIX red? So assume you are a tiny little fish in a giant ocean filled with sharks and whales, and they're here to eat you. Just stay close to the rocks or swim right under the shark and the whale and you'll be fine. All right, welcome back, folks. Welcome back. All right, so it is 11 minutes. Not so bad.